Guys, welcome back to Ashar Books. So today I'm going to be talking about books that are on my mind. And what I mean by that is I don't really do TBRs anymore because, to be frank, I just never stuck to them. I'm such a mood reader that they just didn't work. Like, I would make the list and then I wouldn't get to them and I feel bad that I didn't get to them, and it was like a vicious cycle. So I don't really do that. But recently I've just had so many books like floating around in my brain. And I don't know if you guys are like this, but I feel like for most readers, or at least a lot of us, like there's certain times when there's just a lot of new releases or a lot of just like really great books that people are talking about or that I've seen that I really want to read. And it's like there's so many books in so little time. So I thought I'd make this video of just like kind of like a TBR, but like more like just books that either I own and I want to read over the next few months, or that I just keep seeing floating around that just are on my mind. You know, when you're like trying to go to sleep at night and you're probably either stressing about something or you're having random books float around in your mind, that's what this list is. So without further ado, I have some written down here that I don't own physically, and then I have a stack over here that I do own physically. I think it's like 20 books-ish. So again, I may not get to all of these, but they're ones that I really hope to, that I've just really had a desire to pick up recently. The first three are actually ARCs, which is a little unusual for me because I really haven't requested anything off of NetGalley for, I think it's been like a year-ish, because I find the process slightly stressful, and when I don't have that much time, I want to be able to read what I want to, and sometimes I just feel this like pressure with ARCs that it's not my favorite. But there was a few that came out recently that I saw were on NetGalley, and I just couldn't help myself. Like, I had to request them. So I'm gonna change my mindset, and instead of saying I have to read them in the next couple months because they're coming out, I'm gonna say I get to read them over the next couple months. Like, I get the honor of reading them. So the first one is Codename Charming by Lucy Parker. If you've been around a while, I am a massive Lucy Parker person. I absolutely love her London Celebrity series, and then I really liked Battle Royale, which was her last book that came out, I think like 2 years ago. And I saw this one was up, and this is what actually made me go on to NetGalley, because I'm like, oh, I really want to see if I could get that one because I'm just so excited. We met these characters in the previous book, and I'm just so excited. So that's the first one, but it doesn't come out, I would write the date down, that doesn't come out until August 15th. So I'll probably read that a little bit later in the summer because I like to read a little bit closer to release date. Now, the second arc is When the Duke Loved Me by Lydia Lloyd. This is one I saw somebody post about on Instagram, and I don't remember who it was. It might have been Plottress. I'll link their Instagram below because they've got a really great podcast and they've got a really cool Instagram. It might have been them. I don't know, but I'm so bad at writing that kind of stuff down. But I saw them talk about this book, and then I saw it was an ARC because I really wanted to read it. And I believe it's a debut historical romance by this author. And I don't know, the plot just sounded perfect, like right up my alley. And they posted a quote, I think is what it was, that I was like, ooh, that sounds really good. So I went and requested it, and I was able to get it. So I'm really excited to read this one. And that comes out on August 28th. So again, probably gonna read it later in the summer. The third and last arc is A Crown of Ivy and Glass by Claire Legrand. This is a fantasy romance that's coming out in June 13th. So I'll probably read this one pretty soon. I'm a little mixed. So I really was super excited to get this one. I was super excited to see this book come out, and I was really, really excited when I got approved for the ARC, but I've seen a couple like mixed reviews, which is not a big deal. I mean, I want to give my own opinion, hence why I've requested the book, but the like tagline on this is it's like a fantasy romance, but it's kind of like a mix between like Bridgerton, so it has like very like aristocratic feels to it with like a fantasy setting. And I don't know, that just appealed to me on a very large level. So I'm excited to see what I think about this one. And then I've got two books that continue a series that I really want to keep reading, so they're on my brain. One is, I had to write the names down because I always confuse them, but it's Hostage to Pleasure by Nalini Singh. And this is number 5 in the Side Changeling series. I just read number 4 this past month, and I really liked it. This is a series that I can't I don't know. I keep reading one or two and then stepping away, reading one or two and then stepping away. And I really want to kind of like keep going because some of the ones I'm really excited about are like numbers like 9, 10. So I want to get to that in the series, but I am really enjoying these. Like these are always like a 4 or 5 star for me. I feel like everyone knows Psy Changeling, but these are paranormal romances that are by the amazing author Nalini Singh. And I want to be part of the cool kids club and I want to read the series. The second is very similar vein, and that's No Rest for the Wicked by Kresley Cole. And this is the second book in the Immortals After Dark series. You'll also see that I read the first book. Again, I've actually read this a long time ago, but I read the first book this month or last month. I don't know when this is going up, but I read it and I really liked it. So Immortals After Dark is one of those series that's like a cult favorite. Like I feel like romance readers, you either haven't read it or you love it. Like if you've read it, you love it. I also started listening to Fated Mates podcast with Jen and Sarah McLean. And obviously their first season was going through that whole series of books. So I really want to continue because I've actually read the first one like twice now and I still haven't continued. So need to do that. The next one is Charlie, Love, and Cliches by Ella Mays. This is a new release that just came out a couple of days ago when I'm filming this. I love Ella Mays' other books. Marriage for One is one of my absolute favorites. And she hasn't had a book come out in a little bit, so I'm really excited to read this one. It's got a really cute cover. And I don't know, I love this author, so I really want to pick up this one soon. The next one is another new release, and that's Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I have heard of Sarah Adams for years. My best friend really likes Sarah Adams books and has been reading them for a long time, but I just never picked one up. But this one, the cover and the plot just really works for me. And so I think this might be my first one to pick up by her. I am a little torn on whether I should go back and read the first one in the series, When in Rome, first. If anyone's read this series, can you let me know what you think? Should I just go ahead and read the one that appeals to me most, or do I need to go back and read When in Rome to get the full picture? Let me know. That'd be great. But regardless, I really want to read this book at some point soon. Next one is Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. I feel like this book is literally everywhere, as well as the second book in the series. It's contemporary romance. I believe it's a sports romance. And to be honest with you, I don't even know that much about it, but I keep seeing quotes from it, or annotated books with quotes from it. It told me, okay, I really want to see what the hype is about. And they sound really great. These definitely sound like, characters that are really emotional and book boyfriend material. So I want to read that, really the first two, but I mean, obviously I'll read the first one first. The next one is a historical that's going to come out at the end of May, and that's I gotta read the title. An Island Princess Starts a Scandal by Adriana Herrera. Long title. But this is historical romance, and it is the second book in her, I think it's called the Los Leones series that I read the first one last year. It absolutely loved. It was one of my favorite books. Caribbean Heiress in Paris was one of my favorite books of last year. And so I'm super, super excited to read this one. This one sounds really cool as well. And we met our character in the first one, and this one is a sapphic romance. So I'm really excited to see what Adriana does with that and in the time period. And I just think she's gonna really do a great job. And so I'm super stoked. I think that comes out May 30th. Okay, and then I really just want to continue reading Carissa Broadbent. I feel like, again, she's everywhere right now. I read the Daughter of No Worlds series. I know it's not called that, but I just don't remember what it's called. What's it called? I don't remember. I know it's not called that, but you know what I mean. The first one's The Daughter of No Worlds. So I read that series last month before that, and freaking loved it. So I want to read the next series, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and obviously the second one's out, and then she had a novella, and then she had the spin-off book, and she's got a lot of books out that in a short amount of time. So I think that's very impressive. And the fact that I loved the first one so much, I really want to continue with those soon, and I've really been craving some good fantasy romance. And you're gonna see the next 4 books, I think 3 or 4, are fantasy romances that I want to get to soon. The next one is The Witch Collector, also by Carissa, but her name's Carissa Weeks. This is one that's been on my kind of radar for a long time. I liked the cover. I kept seeing it come up as a suggestion on, not Instagram, on my Kindle, like, you know how you get suggestions on things you would like based on your reading, and it just sounds it's the start of a new fantasy series. That's part of why I put it off, because I feel like I'm reading so many, but that's okay. I still really want to read it, and it sounds like a really fun and kind of like fast-paced fantasy romance, so I'm excited to read that. Next one is one that I really think might be one of my next reads, and that's Between Wrath and Mercy by Jess Weisskopf. This is another fantasy romance that I've had on my radar for a little bit of time now, and every time I see someone talk about it, it just like skyrockets up to the next position because it sounds so good. This one, I know the second book is already out, which is kind of what I was waiting on. I wanted at least 2 to be able to gobble up before I started them. I don't know when the third one's coming out, and I actually need to look at how many books are in the series, because I'm really hoping it's only like 3 and not like 5, but that's okay. Really want to read that one. And then 2 other contemporaries I really want to get to soon, and that is King of Wrath? I think. I read the first one. Okay, I get the titles mixed up. I think it's King of Wrath, which is the new book. I read King of Pride. If not, flip those, by Anna Huang. I really liked the first one in the series a whole lot. We met the characters from this new book in that book, and it really set it up to be like really good romance. So I'm really excited to read that soon. And then the last one on this list before I get to my stack over here is Heartless by Elsie Silver. Again, I read Flawless last couple months ago. Really liked it, and I just really want to continue the series. I know Heartless is a lot of people's favorite in the series she's writing, so I wanna read it as well. I think I'm gonna like it. It's a nanny romance, and those usually work really well for me. Okay, next for my stack of books that I have physically that I really want to, again, get to over the next few months. These are the ones out of my like physical TBR that just like speak to me and are saying, please, please pick me up right now. Also, I'll apologize now. My cat, I don't know what is going on. She's very vocal right now, so I apologize if you hear her talking in the background. But the first one is The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. I just finished Terms and Conditions today, so I really want to continue the series. I've really liked it. They've both been 5 stars for me, and I want to wrap it up, hopefully with another 5-star. The next one is a historical romance that I've had on my shelf for a long time and I want to get to, and that's The Heiress Gets a Duke by Harper St. George. I don't know why I haven't read this book, because it is, first of all, a very pretty cover. Second of all, it takes place in the Gilded Age, which you may or may not know is my jam for historical romance. I love books set in Gilded Age, particularly New York. I think this one actually is set in England though, which is kind of different. And I've just heard really good things. I've also heard that this is a series where it gets better with every book. And I think they're on book like 3 or 4 now. And so I've got to catch up. And I love it when a series gets better and better. So I'm excited to read this. It's not very long either. So I really just, although, wow, I'm looking at this, the text is pretty small. So that's okay. That's okay. We're still gonna read it. I'm excited to read that. The next one is one that I keep putting on lists because I just need to pick it up. And that is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sanku Mandana. Again, so excited to read this. Have heard nothing but good things. Cozy vibes, witches, kind of a grumpy, stuffy hero, and I really want to pick this up. I'm going to try to read this over the summer. There's a chance I may put it off till the fall, at least like September, August, September, because I do think it gives kind of fall-y vibes, but we'll see. I still really want to read it though. The next one is one that I started and I just never finished, and that's The Roommate by Rosie Danan. It wasn't the book's fault. I think I mentioned in my last video, really having a hard time finding books that capture my attention for the past month or 2. So this is one that I got, I don't even know, probably like 50, 75 pages in and put it down, and it's not the book's fault. I want to pick this back up. A couple of my friends really like this book and the second one, so I just really want to finish it. Then we have a series. So this series is kind of out of left field just because I haven't really, do you ever have a situation where you haven't thought of that book or that series for literally years, and then you have this like sudden desire that you must read them right now? That's what happened with this. I read the first book, Crave, by Tracy Wolff, which I do have, I just forgot to pull out. But I read that like when it first came out in like 2020. And then I kept seeing, you know, the next couple of books come out, and now the series is finally almost finished, and I never continued it. It was like a 4-star read. It's a YA paranormal romance, I would say, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't one I was like, oh my God, I have to continue. It was kind of corny, kind of cheesy, but the more that I heard about it and kind of like peeked at what some of the other books were like, yes, I did that. Don't blame me. It doesn't bother me to know what happens in other books, so it's okay. But I was really intrigued at where the story was going. So I finally picked up book 2, which is Crush, which I already owned. And I'm reading that right now. And then, so I have Covet, and then I have Court and Charm from the library. This is from the library too. So I really want to read this book series. I just think sometimes you need to get lost in a good YA fantasy romance, you know? Even if it's maybe not the most revolutionary thing you've ever read, it's just fun. And that's what the series is so far. The whole series is also on AnyPlay, so I'm listening to them because they are really chunky. I don't know if they need to be this chunky. I'm yet to be determined, but I really do hope to continue. And honestly, I'd love to finish this series because I want to see how it plays out. And the last book comes out in May. So hope to read that. Switching gears though, the next one is another fantasy, but this is an adult fantasy, and that is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I have had this book on my mind for a while, and it's pretty darn fat. But I just think this sounds like something I'd really, really enjoy. It's gotten great reviews, and it sounds like something that's super immersive and a really cool world to be in. This series is also finished, I'm pretty sure, which is how I like my series when I want to read them. This is also a very floppy, satisfying book, so I'm hoping to read this soon. I've heard there's a romance in this. I don't know how big it is, but I do know there's a romance in it. So okay, 3 more. Clearly, I've had a lot of books on my mind, so stick with me. The next one is Hotel of Secrets by Diana Biller. I have to be honest with you guys. I started this book, and I got, where did I get to? Like 50 pages in. And I love Diana Biller's other books. I've loved both the first 2. I gave them 5 stars. I don't know if maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset for this. It's a bit of a slower moving start to me. It's a historical romance, and I just feel like it wasn't grabbing me, and I put it down because if a book's not grabbing me, I want to wait until it is, you know, or I want to wait until I'm in the mood for like a slower start. So I want to pick this up again because I'm not giving up on it yet. But I just don't know. I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant because I don't want to read it and not love it. But anyways, I really want to read this because I've loved her first 2 books. Next one is another historical romance, and that's Anna Maria and the Fox by Liana de la Rosa. And this is one that just came out recently, and I picked it up because I am so excited to read this. I love that we're getting historical romances that are not set just in England. I know our heroine is from Mexico, and I don't know. I'm all about it. I really like it. I love the cover, and I'm hoping this is going to be a hit for me. And I don't know if this is the author's first book or not, but I'm hoping it'll become a favorite author too. And the last book that has been on my mind and probably everyone's who owns a phone/computer and internet, and that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Yes, I, like everybody else, have bought the book because it sounds so good. This is, if you don't know, a fantasy romance that just came out recently and has had so much hype that it's honestly a little terrifying. But it's about dragons, and I just noticed Tracy Wolff, who is from the Crave series, did the little tagline, and it's the most brutally addictive fantasy I've read in a decade. That's saying something, and that's what I've heard, that it's just super addictive, really cool like magic system with dragons and riders, and that there's a really amazing romance in it. So of course I need to read it too. And I really do want to read it before the hype gets to me. So hopefully very soon. Oh my gosh, that was kind of more than I thought when I actually like started talking through all those. But those are all the ones, like I made that list in like 5 minutes. So like they just poured out of me when I was writing them down. So clearly they've been floating around in my head. And I really do hope to read at least most of these over the next few months. I feel like there's been so many good releases recently. I'm living for it. So I would love to know if you've read any of these. Let me know your thoughts because I'd really love to know and chat about that, or tell me one that you really want to read as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.